why you haven't hit $1 million a year inside your business yet and how to fix it. So in this video, I'm going to make a big, bold promise. If you've been grinding in your coaching or consulting business and you're still not at $1 million a year consistently or have a consistent run rate for it, I'm going to show you exactly what's keeping you stuck and how to fix it in the next 90 days. Because the truth is, hitting 1 million, it's not about working harder. Despite what everybody else says, it's about fixing what breaks after your first 100K and changing your mindset in order to hit 1 million. Because a lot of people operate on the 100K mindset, but in order to get from 0 to 10K to 50K to 100K to 500K to a million, there's some things that you have to change about yourself in order to get there. So your business, it's not broken. Despite what you might think, it's not because you're in a too competitive of an industry. It's not because your marketing is the problem. There's your systems and your foundation are the main issues that we need to focus on. So by the end of this video, you're going to understand the 3 invisible ceilings that are keeping you stuck under 7 figures a year. And I'm going to show you how to break each one. So I want you to think about it like this. Most entrepreneurs are like lions. If you're anything like myself, they're hustlers. They're chasing every deal. They're reacting daily, and they're just stuck in the grind mode. They eat what they kill, right? Like this is a typical David Goggins, Grant Cardone, Gary Vee approach is grind, just hustle your ass off. And that's the advice that gets you to 100K. That's not the advice that's going to get you to multiple millions of dollars, let alone making really good money with this. The ones who hit $1 million and plus, they become a little bit more strategic. They're kind of like an architect. They're creating leverage, building the right systems for scale. So I put in here a picture of a spider. There's 2 differences between a lion and a spider for how they get their prey, how they, have the systems for them to live their life. A lion is constantly hunting, constantly looking, constantly reaching burnout, where a spider just chills. They take their time, they build a beautiful web, and the web serves them over and over and over and over again, where once they put it up once, they get their prey to come through, and then they just go back and, clean it up and just maintain it. There's more work on the front end. And then once you do all the work on the front end, it becomes a lot easier on the back end. That's exactly how I feel inside my business right now. Whereas most people, they get stuck in this mode right here, where they're constantly chasing and hunting down their prey. This is what we need to get you into as the architect of building a business. So here's a little mindset tip for you. If you're stuck below 1 million a year, it's because you're still playing that 100K game. You just probably have some better branding. You're hustling too much. What I want to get you to right now is reading this book. It's called 10X is Easier Than 2X. It's from Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. The whole concept behind this book, I'm not going to give a whole book review right now, but I highly recommend you check it out because this is the easiest, I want to say the easiest, but one of the biggest fundamentals that a lot of people I coach get stuck with. And the concept is getting 2X growth means doing more of what you're already doing, but just a little bit better. But if you want to get 10X growth, it forces you to completely rethink how you operate. It forces you to step into a new paradigm as yourself and your business to really grow. Because you can't just work harder, you have to work differently. So it really forces you to kind of think outside the box and break the thinking patterns that you have right now. So when I say you're still playing the 100K game, but with better branding, that's what I mean. You haven't made the identity shift from operator to owner yet. If you're still doing everything day to day, you are an operator. You're not an owner. You're a freelancer. And that's okay. We all start somewhere. I did. And these are like, I wish someone would have told me what I'm sharing with you guys right now. I wish I would have been able to see this video 5-6 years ago when I first made my 100K or whatever it was. I can't remember off the top of my head. But like this video would have just shifted the way I think. And that's really what I want you guys to get out of this video is like, I'm going to give you some of the main things, but really It's if you can walk away with understanding that you have to think differently to do this, that's the main goal that I want you to get with here. So the 3 invisible ceilings keeping you stuck. The first one is the lead ceiling. You don't have consistent qualified leads yet. You're relying on organic or inconsistent content. You're probably stuck in the content hamster wheel. I know I was for the longest time. You know, people go, hey, just post 2 pieces of content every single day. You're going to get known. You're going to get more leads. And it's like, you need something that's more predictable. You need something that doesn't rely you to just be posting and praying and hoping and getting excited a post goes viral. You need a more strategic way. That's why ads are such a great way to do that. And when it comes to ads, even if you're not running ads yet, if you're doing like the content posting and you're not doing retargeting, you're missing out on so much opportunity. You're letting warm traffic just slip away. The fix for this is build a ad and retargeting machine that does the nurturing for you. If you think about like a basic ad funnel, right? You have your top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, right? Most people, they don't have consistent lead flow coming in their top of funnel, and then they're not retargeting people in the middle of funnel, which leads the bottom of funnel, nothing. You're just wasting time, money, energy by not doing anything with that. So ironically for me, I did the opposite of what everybody else said. I stopped posting content every day. Why? Because I did it for so long and I just hated it. I hate posting content every day. I did not want to become a content producer. I wanted to run a business. So that's exactly what I did. I started thinking like an architect rather than a hustler, and it changed everything. I'll go a little bit more on that in a second. Number 2 is the sales ceiling. Your conversions aren't scalable. You're either doing all the sales yourself or you have a small team and they're probably like some below average performers. Again, I'm just speaking on experience here, guys. Like when I was stuck below the consistent $1 million a year mark, it was because of mostly these things that I'm talking about right here. I was doing a lot myself. I had a small team. Some people were part-time. I had a setter that was decent. I had a closer that was like, okay. It was like, and then I had some fulfillment people. Nothing was consistent. And that's like the big thing, especially at this part. This is one of the hardest parts is like getting really good talent because you're not a big company yet. You're not, really attracting much noise. So it's like, how do you attract A players? Chances are you're probably not. You're probably going to be attracting B and C players right here. And that's okay. But just know like eventually you do need to get more A players in. Once you get real A players in your company, that's when you see things really grow. So if you're sitting here and you're like, yeah, I have a guy on my team who, he's working part-time. He has this other job and he's probably making around the same amount of money that he's making with his other part-time job than this. It's like, that's exactly what you're running into. You need to have people on your team that can make really good money. The more money they make, the better they're going to perform. And guess what? In order for them to make more money, they need the right opportunities. They need consistency. Probably don't have any standardized scripts, follow-ups, or grading systems or SOPs on how you grade leads or how you have an actual system with it. The fix with this is build a predictable sales ecosystem with nurture, automatic follow-up, lead grading, and accountability. Now, I wanted to sit here and like show you every single thing, but again, I want to keep these videos very precise. So like as far as talking about the ad side of stuff, as far as talking about the sales side, I do have an entire 30-minute video breaking down my entire $8 million plus client getting system. If you want it, there's a link down below. No opt-in. It's literally just on my YouTube. I put it there because a lot of my videos, I cover kind of like the top part. And if you haven't seen the rest of my videos, that's why this video is in play. The one below this, because it's going to explain everything in detail for you. So I'd say watch the rest of this and then go check out this video afterwards because it's going to explain everything for you. $1 million companies, they don't chase leads. They manage pipelines. If you want some note to look at, this is going to be huge for you. Manage, don't chase. Number 3, the fulfillment ceiling. You can't grow without more hours. You're stuck inside delivery instead of optimizing it. How many of you are watching this right now where you're like, you're doing all the delivery yourself, you're doing all the sales yourself, you're doing all the marketing, you're doing everything. Look, I respect it. There's growth seasons and there's maintenance seasons, but eventually you have to get into that maintenance season of bringing somebody on board so you can really grow. a lot of times people just get stuck in growth season where they just want to grow, but they don't, and they just keep hustling and it doesn't work. There's growth and there's maintenance. When you're in maintenance, that's when you aren't making as much money. You're hiring team members, you're training team members, you're dipping into margin, but guess what? A month or two into that, after you train them, then growth doubles. A lot of people don't think about it like that. You got to get out of fulfillment at some point. You can't be the bottleneck. And that's what happens with a lot of people stuck less than $1 million a year. They become the bottleneck inside their company. So the fix with this is install the fulfillment flywheel. You have team ownership, client success metrics, and automation. My advice for you is build an org chart so you can clearly deliver on every aspect of your team, especially client success. If you don't know what an org chart is, well, the beauty is you can just go to Google and type in org chart and it'll show you an example of an org chart. So here you have, let's see if I can pull this up and show you. This is just me randomly pulling it up, by the way. I didn't look at this, but an org chart is basically, this is a kind of shitty version, but you have, who's a CEO. You have the dedicated columns down below. So CFO, Chief Financial Operator, COO, CTO, CMO. So basically it'd be like CEO, COO, CSM, client success, sales leader, whatever it is. And then underneath, for example, let's do COO. Who's underneath that? Who do they manage? Do they manage the VAs? Like build the actual chart. Again, if you guys want more, if you want me to break down that in more detail, I have a full org chart I can show you. Let me know what you guys want. But build an org chart. If you don't have an org chart, you're missing out. And also a little side note on that as well. If you don't have your company mission, vision, and values, you're never going to build a successful company. I know this sounds so minute, but I promise you that's probably been the most beneficial thing I've ever done inside my company is building a company mission, vision, and values doc that we go over at least once a month. I'd say it's probably bi-weekly for us. For me, and I feel really cool saying this, actually it's posted a video, it was my most recent video, is I could take off an entire month and my whole company would operate 100% without me. Why? Because I've dialed in the system. Everything I'm sharing with you here are things that I've messed up on, I've had to learn from. My org chart is super consistent with who's in charge of what and what KPIs need to be hit. When you're building your org chart, you basically just assign KPIs to the people in the org chart and then they deliver on them. If you want to check that out, check out my most recent video. I actually had I had septoplasty surgery in my nose, which is just a deviated septum. It's very common, but I was out for a full week and I didn't tell my team and I just wanted to see how they operate. And we had our most profitable week in business this year. So I'm speaking on experience with this. So here's the real fix. You have to transition from operator or freelancer, whatever you are right now, to an owner, to a boss, to a CEO, and you have to tap into that mindset. You don't get to 1 million by just doing more, despite what the Grant Cardones and all those people say, right? You get there by doing less, but better and more strategic. You turn into that architect over here that instead of hustling all day long, you're being more strategic with how you run and grow your business. I struggled with this for the longest time. Things I would catch myself saying all the time that you might as well is like, no one cares as much as me. No one can work as hard as I do. No one can do it like me, blah, blah, blah. It's all bullshit. People can work as hard as you. People will work as hard as you. People can do it better than you. And people will care more than you when you learn how to get into leadership, because this is all signs of a leadership issue. You can and will find the right talent. This is the hardest part of business that nobody talks about. Nobody posts videos like this talking about. How do I know? Because I looked nonstop. I paid people $30,000 not to learn their course content, but just to see how they would lead their business and their team. I did that literally 4 times over the last couple years, just paying people over $30,000, not to learn how to run ads or do anything like that, because I already knew. I wanted to see under their hood. I wanted to see how they operate, how they train their team. I wanted to see their team calls. That's the type of stuff that you can't just teach on a YouTube video. This is the type of stuff where you have to get around the right type of people. And the other opportunity is you just waste time and money learning it yourself. And that's what I did. I wasted a ton of time doing it. So like if I had to give one piece of advice for all of this right now, and I got some next steps for you, is like, find the person that is running the business that you want and pay them whatever it takes to learn how to run and replicate their business model. And find one person. I'm not saying it has to be me. You might already have a great coach right now. If that's the case and they're doing exactly what you want and where you're at, pay them to see under the hood. Pay them to work with them. That's the best investment you can ever make. I see a lot of people like, yeah, I've made like 10 grand profit this month. I'm just going to put it in Bitcoin or the S&P. It's like, bro, that's the stupidest investment you can make. Even if you until you have hundreds of thousands of dollars, like investing into the stock market and Bitcoin and stuff like that is just stupid. If you run your own business, your biggest ROI is putting it back into yourself, investing into ads, investing into mentors, paying for knowledge, paying for skill sets. But most people don't think like that. Why? I made that mistake. You live and you learn, right? But I see it happen all the time. People make a little bit of money and oh yeah, I'm going to go invest it. It's like, dude, you put $100,000 in the S&P 500. Let's say you get an 8% return annually. Guess what? That's $8,000 over 12 months. That's not even $1,000 a month. You put that $100,000, or you put that money into a coach, and you learn how to 10x it. That's your real money. That's your real ROI. Next steps. Here you go. Identify your bottleneck. Is it marketing? Is it sales? Is it delivery? Is it setting? Is it fulfillment? What is it? Install leverage systems, ads, CRM automation, team, KPIs, org charts, leadership. Figure out what the issue is and replace yourself in the daily chaos with processes and SOPs. So to sum all this up for you, you're not going to fix your entire business overnight. I like to keep it real with you guys. What I'm giving you here is hopefully a mindset shift. Every business is different. I mean, to be honest with you, half of you probably only watched 20% of this video. And then the ADD kicks in and then you started doing something else. Another half of you that actually watched this video and are where we're at now probably won't do anything. You'll probably go scroll on Instagram or YouTube and watch something else after this. I can't stop you. You'll probably go on TikTok and just ADD or keep doing what you're doing. Goes in one ear, out the other. But for the 1% of you that made it this far, because I know this is about an 18-minute video, and are serious about scaling, here's my number one piece of advice for you. Focus on one KPI at a time and dial it in. Rome, you guys heard this, wasn't built overnight. An example of this, we focused on fixing our booking rate for leads, and within 30 days, we doubled it. And we lowered our cost per acquisition by 50%, meaning we could scale the business and become way more profitable. When you can lower cost per acquisition by 50%, when you're spending $50,000 to $100,000 plus every single month on ads, you become a lot more profitable. So obviously I covered a lot on here. Let me know what specific questions or topics you want me to dive in more detail on in the comments. I personally read that and respond to every comment. So I make these videos to nurture my audience. I'm very upfront about it. I want to provide you more value so you continue to see that, hey, we could help you out when you're ready to grow. And by no means, you can watch every single video for free. That's what they're here for. There's no obligation, but help me help you. Let me know in the comments what you want, what you like, what you don't like, and I'll see you in the next video.